Hello, I'm sitting here in Community Base with Christine, who's been attending the Gold Group for 5 months now, although she hasn't been drinking for 2 years. Hi Christine.
Hello.
I wonder if you'd like to just talk a bit about what the key features, what the key moments been for you in your journey over the past 2 years.
There have been a lot of positives that I wasn't expecting. I think the biggest thing is learning about myself. Taking alcohol out of my life means that I'm learning about myself in a sober capacity, which is actually really lovely. Lots of things happen quite quickly. My friendship base changed dramatically, and has been a positive, but it's taken time to adjust to that. I think a lot of the changes have happened. I feel like they've happened more recently, but it feels a bit like a piece of the puzzle coming together. So whilst I did enjoy things when I was drinking, it's just not the same anymore. It's better. It's real, and it's in colour, and it's got texture, and it's got sound. It's great. So the things that I've discovered about myself since I stopped drinking are things like new pleasures, like walking and nature and the countryside, and how much time I take out to do those things. And rediscovering music has been a huge thing that's happened. I didn't really know that I could enjoy music without alcohol helping me along the way. But I could, and I found out that I could dance to music really well without drinking. That was a revelation. But best of all, music was better without alcohol, and that's been brilliant. So I'm kind of rediscovering all of that music which has stacked up over the years without alcohol. So that's quite an adventure. The relationships that I've built up since I've stopped drinking, new people that come into my life, I feel sort of calmer about those relationships because they're real, and the person who has made those friendships happen is me. It's not this sort of fake person anymore. I take responsibility for myself, and it feels really, really nice. All those other things too, like the other things that I enjoy, like art, it's taken on a different meaning to me. I can stay in an art gallery for hours without feeling hungover and wanting to get out of there. I guess I've just got more headspace to take things in. And when I go out, I come home with all my possessions, which my wardrobe's full. It never used to be. And I come home with my dignity, which is also something quite new.
That's quite valuable.
Yes. Other new things that have come in as part of my journey is meditation. And although I don't practice that religiously, it's something that I'm mindful of a lot of the time. And I think that's more about an awareness of yourself in the world, and as something quite valid. I would say everything's improved.
And one thing that strikes me with your story and your situation is you're still in your 20s. So to hear that you can still connect with things, like music, like dancing, is good.
It was my 30th last month.
Oh.
So I
excuse me, I should have remembered
in some people's eyes, I'm still in my 20s, but yeah, I'm just on that.
You were in your 20s when you stopped drinking.
Yeah. I was in my late 20s, and I met with really poor reactions from people of the same age as me. I think I was with a certain group of people who I know in hindsight were always going to react in that manner because of the way I was drinking. It meant I surrounded myself with people who drank in a similar way to me. So when I told them of my decision, all the reactions I got were really bad, apart from really close friends who just offered their quiet support, and off I went. But yeah, it was a bit of a wake-up call, especially because of the society we live in, and especially because Brighton being Brighton, at times it feels like everybody is very young, everybody drinks a lot, and that's totally acceptable. And to try and break away from that you have to have a little bit of strength to do it. Now that I'm not part of that drinking culture anymore, I can see that there's a space for me in Brighton, and all kinds of things happening that I never knew were here. I think the art scene in Brighton is immense, and I had sort of poo-pooed its existence, and rediscovering that and all the other things that go on in Brighton is really nice. But yeah, being in my 20s and stopping drinking makes you different, and I'm quite happy to be different because I'm me. But what I didn't do was reach out for the support when I stopped drinking. That's all I did. I stopped drinking. I didn't deal with it, and that's been part of my journey since stopping. To understand what it means, and you can never be too prepared, and you should never feel that you can't ask for help, and that's something that I've learned about myself, that I can actually do that now.
I remember first meeting you just over 5 months ago to do a one-to-one interview before you came to the Goal Group, and you seemed to me to be very much in the position of you'd gritted your teeth and used your willpower, and you sort of felt you were on your own. There was no one out there going through the same thing as you. Has coming to Goal and being in the peer support group changed that for you?
It's made such a difference. I think I hadn't realised quite what a success I'd made of the decisions that I'd made and what I'd stuck to doing. But I'd forced myself, really, really forcefully forced myself to go it alone when I didn't need to. And coming to the group each week is brilliant, because it's people who have the same experiences as you do. They get it, they understand. Everybody has their own personality, everybody's very different, but it all makes sense. And it's invaluable, that space to share your experiences, however big, however small, however unimportant you might think they are. It just all comes together. And I think it's a place to talk about anything, because that's what alcohol does. It affects everything. And it feels nice to have that freedom of being able to talk about alcohol in whichever way you need to, because everybody else in the room understands what you're saying. And as soon as you share it, you've sort of lifted it away from yourself. It's made a huge difference. Whilst I still have other support services around me, it's made a massive difference to how I think about alcohol.
And at the same time, as a regular group member, you're making a huge contribution to other people. It's not just listening and taking in, it's a two-way process. You're also there helping other people, even just by having them listen to what you say, and the dialogue that gets going in the group.
Yeah, I think that's really important. It can feel sometimes a bit of a burden, your thoughts and your feelings, but being able to help somebody else, just to offer your own views or your bit of support, it comes back and it bounces around the room. It's a great environment and a great space to be able to share those feelings and meet some really, really lovely people.
Well, thanks very much. Thanks a lot for sharing that. I think that'll be useful for other people to hear.
Okay.